My greatest Olympic prize. It is a short story which depicts an incident from the life of Jesse Owens, the author of this story. It states the 24-carat friendship formed between Jesse Owens and Luz Long in the fields of 1936 Olympics. Let us move on to our story line by line. It was the summer of 1936. The Olympic Games were being held in Berlin, that is in Germany, because Hitler childishly insisted that his performers were members of a master race. Nationalistic feelings were at an all-time high. This means that Hitler believed in the Nazi ideology, according to which the Aryan was superior to others. Aryan is the community to which Hitler belonged, and due to this myth of Hitler, many nationalistic feelings for one's own nation was emerging at a high rate those days. I wasn't too worried about all this. I had trained, sweated and disciplined myself for 6 years with the games in mind. While I was going over on the boat, all I could think about was taking home 1 or 2 of those gold medals. I had my eye specially on the broad jump. It means that Jesse Owens did not care for Hitler's theory. He trained himself and practiced hard for 6 years, keeping the Olympics in mind and to win 1 or 2 of those gold medals. A year before, as a sophomore at Ohio State University, I had set the world's record of 26 feet 8 and a quarter inches. Everyone kind of expected me to win that Olympic event, hands down. It implies that an year before, that is in 1935, Jesse recorded one of the mind-blowing performance and set the world record as stated, and everyone expected Jesse to win the Olympics. I was in for a surprise when the time came for the broad jump trials. I startled to see a tall boy hitting a pit at almost 26 feet on his practice leap. He turned out to be a German Luz Long. I was told that Hitler had kept him under wraps, evidently hoping to win the jump with him. Now, while the time for the broad jump trial, Jesse was startled, that is, surprised to see a tall boy hitting the pit at almost 26 feet on his practice. He was Luz Long, whom Hitler had kept hidden and was hoping to win. I guessed that if Long won, it would add some new support to the Nazis' Aryan superiority theory. After all, I am a Negro. Negro is an inappropriate word which relates to native Africans or black ones who are judged by physical features. A little hot under the collar about Hitler's ways, I determined to go out there and really show Der Führer and his master who was superior and who was not. Here, Jesse was furious upon the Der Führer, which is a political name given to Adolf Hitler. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes, as any coach will tell you. I was no exception. On the first of my 3 qualifying jumps, I leaped from several inches beyond the takeoff board for a fall. On the second jump, I fall even worse. Did I come 3000 miles for this? I thought bitterly. To fall out of the trials and make a fool of myself. In the trials, Jesse failed in his first 2 attempts and asked himself bitterly, did he came 3000 miles to fall? Walking a few yards from the pit, I kicked disgustedly at the dirt. Suddenly I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper. He had easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt. He offered me a firm handshake. Now, Lars Long, the top German athlete who had easily qualified for the finals, came up to him and offered Jesse a firm handshake. Jesse Owens, I am Lars Long. I don't think we have met. He spoke English well, though with a German twist to it. Glad to meet you, I said. Then, trying to hide my nervousness, I added, How are you? I am fine. The question is, how are you? What do you mean? I asked. Something must be eating you, he said. Proud the way foreigners are when they have mastered a bit of American slang. You should be able to qualify with your eyes closed. Here, general conversation between the both is being handled over. Believe me, I know it, I told him, and it felt good to say that to someone. For the next few minutes, we talked it together. I didn't tell Long what was eating me, but he seemed to understand my anger, and he took pains to reassure me. Although he had been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he did not believe in the Aryan supremacy business any more than I did. We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part too. An inch taller than I, he had a lean muscular frame, clear blue eyes, blunt hair, and a strikingly handsome, chiseled face. Although Lars Long had been schooled in the Nazi movement, he did not believe in the theory of Aryan supremacy. Finally, seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the takeoff board. Look, he said. Why don't you draw a line a few inches in the back of the board and aim at making your takeoff from there? You will be sure not to fall, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to qualify. What does it matter if you are not first in the trial? Tomorrow is what counts. Here, Lars Long advised Owens to play it safe and jump a few inches before the usual takeoff spot. Suddenly, all the tension seemed to ebb out of my body as the truth of what he said hit me. Confidently, I drew a line a full foot in the back of the board and proceeded to jump from there. I qualified with almost a foot to spare. After Jesse took the advice of Lars Long, he was successfully able to qualify for the finals. That night, I walked over to Lars Long's room in the Olympic Village to thank him. I knew that if it had not been for him, I probably would not be jumping in the finals the following day. We sat in his quarters and talked for 2 hours about track and field, ourselves, the world situation, and a dozen of other things. Jesse was aware of the fact that if it had not been for Lars Long, he probably would not have qualified for the finals. And though to thank him, he walked over to Lars Long's room in the Olympic Village. When I finally got up to leave, we both knew that a real friendship had been formed. Lars would go out to the fields the next day trying to beat me if he could, but I knew that he wanted me to do my best, even if that meant my winning. Here, when after a long conversation, they finally got up to leave, both of them knew that a real friendship had been formed between them. Jesse could now guess that Lars wanted him to do his best, even if that meant Jesse's winning. As it turned out, Lars broke his own past record. In doing so, he pushed me onto a peak performance. I remember that at the instant I landed from my final jump, the one which set the Olympic record of 26 feet 5 out of 16 inches, he was at my side, congratulating me, despite the fact that Hitler glared at us from the stand not 100 yards away. Lars shook my hand hard, and it was not a fake smile with a broken heart sort of grip either. Now, in the final, Luz broke his own past record. In doing so, he pushed Jesse onto a peak performance. Jesse won the gold medal and the Olympic record of 26 feet 5.16 inches. Luz Long was the person who congratulated him first, despite the fact that Hitler glared at them from not more than 100 yards away. You can melt down all the gold medals and cups I have, and they could not be a plating on the 24-carat friendship I felt for Luz Long at that moment. I realized then too that Luz was the epitome of what Pyri de Coubertin, founder of modern Olympic Games, have had in the mind when he said, the important thing in the Olympic Games is not winning, but taking part. The essential thing in life is not just conquering, but fighting well. At that very moment, Jesse felt that if he could melt down all the gold medals and the cups he had, they could not be a plating on the 24-carat friendship he had with Luz. Jesse realized then that Luz was the epitome of what Pyri de Coubertin, founder of modern Olympic Games, must have had in mind when he said the stated line.